Hey everyone, Koyo here. We are back to another episode of Xenogears. We're going to be looking at more personality type behaviors and mental disorders, psychology, and whatever literal literature analysis of the symbolisms and etc. that are within Xenogears that I can discuss. Just another day. We're in the stalactite caverns currently, so we'll be making our way around here. There's not going to be much story at the moment, so for recording's sake, I'm going to be stopping here. I'm going to be pausing here, and we're going to resume in the video form that you are watching back home, or however I like to say it. That's going to continue after we get somewhere more substantial to discuss things. So see you in a bit. Now back to the live stream. My sensors detect what appears to be a huge cave on the other side of here. If we could only do something about this boulder. But I doubt we could just smash it to pieces. I guess we could try pushing it. Wait, no matter how you look at it. Looks like he's budging it, man. What the heck are you doing? Hurry up and help! I'm gonna take a drink of water while they're doing this. So, we see Faye, once again, like, he's calling a truce with Bart, if you remember the previous episode. We can get by if we help each other. Let's keep it up so we can get out of here. And, yeah, honestly, I don't think the hydromechanic pipe for my knee joint is on the verge of breaking down. It's all because of that fall from the ceiling, followed by pushing this mega colossal boulder. It won't be funny if my gear malfunctions in a huge cavern like this. Your friends won't come and help us? It'd be a waste of time waiting. They probably won't come. But aren't they your friends? We believe in liberal upbringing. They'll think we can escape by ourselves. I wonder if Doc is okay. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the man you were with. I'm sure our guys saved him by now. What is it? We wouldn't have fallen in here if you had only listened to me. Don't blame it on me. You should have surrendered instead of challenging me. All I wanted was your gear. Don't be ridiculous. You're the one who blindly attacked me. What else was I supposed to do? I thought I might die if I didn't fight you. I was taking it easy on you, couldn't you tell? Huh, then you're a bit dense. Don't lie to me. I know you were serious. What? You want some? Let's have it out, right here! Wait, settling it right here comes first. I won't be able to get anything done until we settle this once and for all. I thought you wanted a truce for now. Getting out of here should come first. Once we're out of here, then I'll fight you all you want. Let's hurry up and move on out of here. I don't like you very much. Damn it! I'll get you when we get out of here. So, we could see, like, Bart is definitely a more uppity person, especially when we compare, like, all the events that have occurred before this. So, and this is a little technique. Should I call it a technique? But essentially, when you like, you can't have depressing mood all the time in a game or a book or a movie, etc. There you have to brighten it up, or it's just going to be like really hard for the viewers to watch, essentially. So this is kind of here to break up that tension, essentially. I am considering, yeah, I'm just gonna escape these battles because it's not gonna be worth fuel loss at the moment. But essentially, the how do I put it? Bart was a pretty good character to introduce at this point, because this guy is like trying to pick fights with Faye. He's clearly, like, in the wrong for attacking Faye. He's kind of not taking all the responsibility per se, but Faye kind of doesn't want to die in a cave, and he's trying to move forward how he can. And if anything, right now it's like the only person he's got that is worth caring for, I guess, is Dakshitan. Um, so and that's why, yes, I hope the doc is okay because not really much else tethering him. Well, that we know of. That we know of. I can't spoil it. But uh and not to mention this isn't, by choice he wanted to be here. Uh so I think what is it? Sand sensors have detected an abnormal amount of sand. The sand barrier south of the terrace stones has been sealed to prevent sand from entering the excavation site. What's with this gear? It's well maintained for a gear just left lying around like this. And it's kind of interesting to see how they kind of put lore. So this is from the Ave side, considering it's a Ave excavation site. They must have put a gear to kind of take in the surroundings, do scans. There's a barrier wall in the southeast of the terrace stones that was built to stop the shifting of sand. Until the barrier reopens, please assemble at the shelter located to the east of the barrier wall. So, just like some interesting stuff. Like this section is a little bit like I said, it's there to break up all the depressing and dark atmosphere that the game already had, and kind of give give the player something else to do, and just give a basic break from all the tension, right? And in doing so, like we get to know, oh, I'm sorry, that's for his gear, but we get to kind of see Faye in a different element with a different person, a stranger he doesn't know. They have clashing ideals, clearly. He's like, oh, why didn't your guys come and help you out? And, Bart's like, oh, we kind of have a liberal stance on things. I can kind of watch out for myself. Um, or they have like a trust in each other that they know they'll make it back. Who'd have thought here would Who'd have thought there'd be someone living in a place like this? Let's check it out. So, this is an interesting point to bring up. Uh Xenogears was meant to be a Chrono Trigger sequel at one point, and then it was also at one point meant to be a Final Fantasy, but during development they were like, "Ooh, this is a little too dark for a Final Fantasy game." So, and it's way too dark for Chrono Trigger. The protagonist is too messed up, even compared to the likes of Cloud. Like, I think this was supposed to be Final Fantasy VIII, essentially. So, that's why we have Xenogears, I mean. And the thing is, being that this was meant to be a Chrono Trigger game, there is some leftovers from Chrono Trigger, or Chrono Trigger sequel. Hey, Faye, this is a surprise. There's someone living in this place. Huh. It has been a while, but I thought I could hear the sound of gears. I assume they are yours. Well, anyway, come on back in here and make yourself at home. So this character here is possibly what would have been a leftover from Chrono Trigger. They just kind of kept the name when he introduces himself. It's been a long time since my last visitor. What happened? Did you fall from the surface? I guess that's it. I see. That's too bad. I can tell from the sound that you both ride good gears, but the legs seem to be playing up a bit. You mean you can tell what's wrong just by the sound of its footsteps? Like that's really cool. Basically, like the footsteps, that whatever he heard outside, he's like, yep, okay, that joint's a little bit off. I'm just drinking a little water right now. It's easy to know what's wrong with gears by the sound they make. My guess is that one of them needs a new hydromechanic pipe, and it's literally quoting what Bart just said like 5 minutes ago. It's making a nasty sound. It must be hard to walk with, too. Oh, by the way, my name is Balthazar, but you can call me Old Man Bal. So, Balthazar is one of those leftovers from what would have been the Chrono Trigger sequel. And if you know, what was it, Balthazar? He's the guy. What was it? He was at spoilers. He was at the Kingdom of Zeal. So you meet him last. You meet him the latest, and yeah, I doubt this is. I mean, of course, they changed his design and just kept the name the same because they felt it wouldn't hurt. But he would have been the guru of reason, and I guess that would have crossed over into Xenogears. But of course, he did reappear in Chrono Cross. So I mean, he still got reused, but it's funny that now his name appears in 3 places rather than 2. You know, but he was meant to be one of the sages, the guru sages. Oh yeah? So, looks like we got a real fanatic here, huh? What's an old man like you doing in a place like this? I guess you could call me a fossicker, or a collector of things. There is much to be found lying around in this cave here. Wait, blah, I mean, oh my god. In this here, I'm surprised he's actually saying that. In this here stalactite cavern. A collector, huh? Sounds interesting. The things on this shelf, are they some of the stuff you've found? You mean the fossils? They're one of the things I collect. Feel free to have a look at them. So, another interesting little lore point here that's coming up. Um, Around here, you can dig up ancient machines along with humans and animal fossils. Notice anything particular on these shelves? They go from oldest to the left and newest on the right. Are you an archaeologist or something, old man? I don't quite see what you're talking about. They just look like a bunch of old bones to me. Faye, what do you think? So Faye takes a look, and he notices something peculiar. Let me see. First, there are no human bones up to here. Then, from here on over to the right, something slightly different, I guess. Yes, from a certain point in time, human fossils suddenly no longer appear. That point is roughly 10,000 years ago. And yeah, that's the so very interesting point. And once you know where Xenogears takes place in the timeline, and I mean, heck, if you've played Xenosaga and you know like that's supposed to be like pseudo Xenogears way before like you could put the dots together if you're retroactively playing Xenogears, but even then, this is not an immediate giveaway as to what that means. What does that mean exactly? Don't ask me, I don't know for sure. But my guess is there were no humans on this planet before then. At least it appears so. So maybe, thinking back to that cutscene, maybe that has something to do with this. Maybe that was 10,000 years ago, for all we know. But who knows? We don't know until later, probably. But that was my theory at first. I'm like, oh, was that a ship from that many years ago, maybe? I don't know, but we'll find out. How could that be? What was all the talk about evolution? You mean the theory of evolution as taught by ethos, right? So notice how he specifically quotes ethos, not to mention specifically taught by the ethos. So not just the theory of evolution taught by ethos. You can't trust that. Rather, I believe in old legends and myth. Legends? Myths? Haven't you heard of this story? They say that humans and God lived together in a paradise in the sky. With God's protection, there was no fear of death, and natural disasters were entirely unknown. Then one day, the humans ate the forbidden fruit, which gave them incredible wisdom. But God drove mankind from the paradise for their sin. Bitter at having been driven out of paradise, humans use the wisdom they have gained to make giants. So, obviously that might sound very familiar. Garden of Eden, ate the forbidden fruit, God cast them out, etc. Right? Tale of, like a little myth, or in this case, a myth for them as old as time for us. You could, even Paradise Lost had a fun little thing about that. Interesting thing here, though, to bring up. Now, remember, this is using a lot of Friedrich Nietzsche and Gnosticism, right? So, in Friedrich Nietzsche sense, the idea is that they literally have been cast out by God, possibly, and that's why people feel we can't be living in paradise anymore because God is not watching over us clearly. If bad things can happen to us, if God really was there, we would not suffer, right? So that is the Friedrich Nietzsche kind of viewpoint on that, the philosophy. So in this case, they made giants. And like, before I go on with this, just looking at that under a little microscope, you could say they tried to make their own gods, right? With these giants, they planned to challenge God himself. No, better yet, they were like, no, let's go and kick God's ass. But God poured his wrath down on them. So you could see that as like, oh, like with, was it Lucifer, etc., rebelling against God or whatnot. All who defied God were destroyed, but God himself did not escape unharmed. Funny thing, if you read Seraph of the End, the manga, there's actually a literal version of this that happened. Oh wait, that's spoilers. I'm sorry, ignore me. Please ignore me. If you like Friedrich Nietzsche, rather, you should read Seraph of the End. It has a ton of it. Taking paradise with him, the wounded god buried himself deep beneath the ocean to sleep for aeons. Before going to sleep, God used his remaining power to create right-hearted humans to live on this planet. These people are said to be our ancestors. Well, anyway, I'll stop my rambling now. So, notice how he goes, well, I'm just rambling. Once again, some old guy goes, I'm gonna stop my rambling now, though. Like, and the characters weren't responding. Maybe he saw they were getting like, okay, sure, but usually there's some truth to whatever old people say in Xenogears. By the way, does this cave have an exit? There is an exit in the excavation site beyond the sand barrier. You can get outside through there. Sand barrier? You mean that huge wall you can see from your entrance? Yes, that's it. On the other side is an old Ave excavation site. They built the wall when Ave was excavating here to keep the sand from falling in from above. But they've stopped work there now. So how do we open such a huge thing like that? If it's a wall, you could probably break it down. Hold your horses there, youngins. No matter how good a gear you have, you'll never break that wall down. It's much too strong, so let's make a deal. A deal? The wall was closed due to a reaction of sand sensors. Thanks to that, now I can't get through the other side either. Maybe it happened when you two fell in here. Were you boys fighting up there or something? You seem to be able to tell everything. Anyway, so what can we do about it? It's very simple. You just have to turn off the sand sensor switches. Doing that will keep the barrier from closing again. While you two are doing that, I'll open it up. Right, got it. The sensors are in two places. You should see their flashing red light. You saw me trying to interact with that earlier, and I was forgetting. Oh, right, I need to basically flag the quest for that first. Well, good luck then. Let's go, Bart. Oh, before you go, I can share some parts and fuel with you. Just talk to me whenever you need something. Thanks, old man. We'll go and finish our part of the deal then. So, what was it? We better charge up our fuel because we really need that, and upgrade our parts where we can. Parts like I feel like gear parts are definitely more important in this game than even parts for even gear for yourself. But I mean, it still matters. What? Wait, why are we talking about? Okay. Anyway, I will be back recording wise. All right, we are back from collecting the sensors. Oh, good timing. I was just about to open the sand barrier now. And he does so. Balthazar. Based off the three wise men from the Christian lore. Sorry, I have an asshole who likes to fire his fireworks. He's been doing it all last month. I don't know why. He's usually hammered apparently, but let me just mark when I just heard that. There we go. Okay, that went off at that time. I'm sorry. That's why I looked over to the side. I was like, oh, there it is again. Well done, old man. Our deal is done. Hey, old man, there's one thing I want to ask you. Oh, yeah, this part. What is it? I've heard somewhere on this planet is a gear far superior to all others. I've heard that it's called the God Gear, and that it was made in ancient times but hidden away somewhere. This will come back. This will come back. Make a mental note of this, okay? Do you know anything about it? A man-made god created with the wisdom of God. Such a gear would have the power of 1,000 gears. In a wave of its arm, it could destroy whole cities. Its battle cries would thunder in the heavens. You must be speaking of the Omni Gear. This will come back. Remember this, folks. You know of it? Then perhaps it was what you were speaking about in the tale of what was it? The tale of bleh, the tale you told us of the battle with God. Goodness gracious, you too, boy. Those stories were made to inspire man's soul, but they're just legends. They don't really exist. Remember the thing, I'm just rambling, blah, blah, blah. Oh, but they're just legends. Remember, that is always a lie if it comes from an old man. Anyway, allow me to take a look at your gears. It'll only take a little while, so wait here, please. Hey, wait! Ah, he's gone. Everything comes back in the game. Yep, absolutely, Elowen. Everything comes back. Hey, Bart, do you think the gear in the stories in that story is buried in the ground somewhere? I think that's what I've heard. Could one of these gears? Ugh, why do I keep messing up? Could one of the gears we are using possibly be it? Yeah, yeah, right. What are the chances of that happening? Huh? The gears that are excavated lately are usually only a few hundred years old. Nowhere nearly as old as the gear in that legend. Then why were they in the ground? I don't know. There are no records except what? There must be some truth in the tales that that they were buried after the Great War. The bullet wounds covering most of the gear's armor would appear to confirm that. You mean that there are no records from the last several hundred years? How about before that? None from either period. The ethos controls all the records from that time period. Maybe they have some ancient records too. All we know about our history is from the little pieces that we find for ourselves. Anyway, Faye, what? So I like how he says something that it's literally like, wait, what? You don't even know your own history for the pieces that you find yourself? What? And then he's like, well, anyway, like, dude, there's something wrong then, clearly, but that's out of his power, ain't it? Anyway, Faye, what do you make of the old man? What do you mean? Why would such an old man live all alone in this abandoned cave? No. Probably digging for ancient gears or something. Right. So you think so too. Hey, I just said that as a joke. Don't take all that stuff seriously. They're only legends. Oh, Faye. Oh, Faye, my dear sweet summer child. You Lahan village boy. No, that old man is up to something. This can't be. Huh? What's wrong, old man? Is this your gear? Well, sort of. Where did you get it? I'm just borrowing it. This is the host for the spirit of the Slayer of God. Wait a moment. What did you just say? Nothing. I didn't say anything. No, I heard you. You said Slayer of God. Now, if you remember where we heard that from, it was a certain guy who calls himself Groff, right? And he was all like, "Oh yeah, I'm the Slayer of God," or blah blah blah, Slayer of God, right? So he's already like, "Yo, wait, that guy who, said he listened to the screams of my dad. What's the connection? That's what you said. It isn't it, old man? Your gears are fixed. You have no more business here. This is a bad time for me. Be on your way." Be on our way. Listen here, old man. Yep, he has nothing to say. And that's why it's so important to make sure you're geared up before you finish all the sensors because, you know, yeah. Dear sweet summer child is the perfect description of Faye. Yeah. So, actually, after I kill these guys, I'm gonna run from the battles. That's why I did extra battles earlier, because I'm not wasting any more, you know, fuel. I mean, I think you might be able to talk to him again, but we're good now, you know. Game had a moment of lag there. All right, let's get this show on the road, folks. Here we are, the boss that filters players in their first time of Xenogears. This is the moment. Also, you may notice my current recording / video followers. I have now added chat to the video, I mean to the stream, so that's interesting. That's a new development, I guess. So let's go and fight ourselves a giant mech. Whoa, a giant mecha fight. So this boss looks like something that appears later in the game. It really looks like something that appears later in the game. Like, the design and everything about it looks a lot like a certain someone, but they never go into this. This is never explored. I don't know why. I really want to know what they were doing. What were they doing here? Why are they here? Why are they here at this point in the game? I don't know. Best girl, yes. Precisely. Okay, so all we could just do is basically do booster, get our boosters going so that we're faster in it. We could, you know, take 2 turns, hopefully. This is gonna hurt. Oh, 132. Hey, actually, I should just not use that. I mean, I'm just gonna see how much Bart does. 76, yeah. But I think I'll go with their weaker attacks. Just so we could focus on doing their level 2s. Oof! Ah, you missed me! That's what booster helps with. Hazan! Yeah. Kickity kickity. And Blood Snake. He should go down relatively quick this way. We'll just do the light attacks, the weakest fuel cost. Because then that way, if you notice how much fuel we lose 24. So if we use 10, it costs 34. It's like we're doing a heavy attack each turn. So we're just going a lot faster. Oh, this is gonna hurt. 450. That's why it's so good to have more HP in defense. I'll also try doing attack level... Wait. I'm gonna try something. 208. We did like 230, 240 before? Let's see. 230. Yeah. Okay, wait. It was 248. We did 248. So, actually, I'm just gonna do 2 of these instead. This is way more damage if I build up to it. Well, not really, but... he should go down quickly this way. My fuel's going down fast too, but we're getting in more turns than he can fathom. How are you doing, Slime? You still there? Look at that, we're still getting in turns on him. We're running laps around him. It should die in, I think, 5 turns. You know, I might be having some regrets doing booster. I might turn off booster. I don't know. I'm suddenly feeling like I'm wasting too much. Damn, this one loves going after Bart. It loves going after Bart for some reason. What I'm gonna do now is I'm actually going to charge. Ah, I was hoping to go after Faye. Nice knowing you, Bart. Let's see. I'll let Bart get more attack level in. Wait, does he have... Yeah, he can. Yeah. I'm gonna charge on this turn, though. Damn, good block on Faye. But I'm just gonna charge a few turns. Oh, wait, we charge more because we have the... Am I seeing that? Wait. Oh, we charge more because we have the better engine. We're not charging 30 anymore. This is very viable. I'll charge one more time with Bart, and I'll get in there with Faye. I'm just gonna do Kazan. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's all. That was it. That was it. Okay, I should have just kept on with booster. It was fine. Huh. What an idiot. Trying to scare us with all show and no power. Faye? Oh, this part. He's like, Anyway, it looks like that's the exit. So it'll be soon. It'll soon be adios to this old cavern. Uh-oh. What the? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Get out of the way, Bart! So, completely made it nothing. Disappeared. Woohoo! What the hell did you just do? Hey! Huh? What do you mean, huh? What in the blazes was that? Don't you know? No, I don't know. That was incredible! You just blew that huge thing to pieces! Why didn't you use that technique a bit earlier? I don't know that technique. I have no idea how I even did it. Huh. Oh well. I guess that doesn't matter. Anyway, thanks for helping me out. So, now that we've got rid of that nuisance, let's get out of here, eh, Faye? Now he's really chummy with Faye. But that's Bart. That's Bart for you. Alright, let's get out of this place, as he said. Okay, I think there's one more cutscene that comes up here. Yeah, Bart's great. He is a fun, silly character. Wow, I never thought we'd end up here. Where are we? You see the Twin Mountains way over there? That's where Bledavik, the royal capital of Ave, and Fatima Castle are located. Currently, there's no king living there, though. Anyway, that's my old hometown. Hometown. I'd like to go ahead and settle our dispute, but considering how close we are to the capital of Ave, we'd probably get caught. Hey, stop looking so glum, chum. I guess I'll have to get you back to your friend soon, or you'll die from fretting or something. Anyway, the rendezvous point with the Yggdrasil is right over there. So if you notice, he went hometown, and like Bart immediately noticed, and I guess they're able to see each other somehow. Maybe they have like a weird like cockpit transmission view at the side to let them see how the person's doing. And I think most likely Faye was probably looking a little depressed for a moment because there was that reminder about what happened to his hometown after all, which yeah, it's pretty sad. So in that case, Bart doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know what happened, but don't worry, he'll be meeting your friend in no time at all. He just thinks, oh, he misses his friend. He's just a little bit dependent or something. When in fact, it's no, I am so depressed. I'm still questioning if I want to live or not. Faye, I was so worried about you. Doc. Welcome to the Sand Cruiser Yggdrasil. We apologize for that earlier incident. I'm sure everyone has already had the courtesy to introduce themselves, but allow me to introduce the Sand Pirates leader, Master Bartholomew. By the way, may I ask, young master, did you apologize to Master Faye? What? Yeah, I told him I was wrong, right? Faye is like, oh. Just telling someone you were wrong after the event isn't going to solve everything, master. I'm sorry I've delayed introducing myself. My name is Sigurd, the first mate of this sand cruiser. Well then, please let me know if you need anything. That's the situation. So now, forgive me, will ya? Young master, stay out of mischief. Oh, don't pull my ear. Let us go and wait in our cabin until we arrive. Remember what I said, Elwyn, about the let us and all that kind of stuff? Let us go. Why don't we just, why don't we go and, wait in the cavern? Or let's go and wait in the cavern. Instead, let us go. It is well made and comfortable. What is wrong? You look down. Well, Bart still has his hometown. No, well, something happened. And then again, there was also that strange power that Faye used. So once again, he's a little bit afraid of himself. He's wondering, uh-oh, I did something without realizing. So he's kind of afraid of himself again. No, nothing. Of course, the typical thing is to brush it off. Not because of protagonist syndrome or anything, but because, there's multiple things, but there's like not having the self-confidence in oneself, not wanting to worry others. It's also something that comes with the psychological, things that Faye goes through, that he can't bring himself to really tell others about that, or share his troubles. And it might be because he's also afraid to kind of have that rebound. And trauma. Exactly. Looking at Xenosaga, if you remember, well, so there's another thing, and this one thing I've noticed that both Faye and Shion have in common, and it's at this point you'll see it with Faye especially, but they have an avoidance, like, aside from very familiar people, they have an avoidance to, or at least, like, sure, as the player, we can go and talk to people, but in story aspect, they make it sound like he's not really talking with too many people per se, and he's a little bit avoidant of like social situations in a weird way at this point going forward. So Shion also shares this to a small degree. She has it for like, rather she keeps people at a distance, yet with not robots, but with the with her own creation, as well as, I forgot what they were called, the Realians, with Realians, she is like completely vulnerable. Oh, an open heart to them, right? But with people, she's not that way. She only keeps things very professional. And anytime anyone asks her, hey, is something wrong? Because they know it's like, oh, she's feeling at her neck for like a very uncomfortable amount of time as they're talking about what happens when the gnosis touch a person. And she's like, oh, I was getting choked. I'm possibly gonna die soon or something, right? Um, so, she just brushes it off. Oh no, it's nothing. No, it's nothing at all. And she'll say that as a response to everything, despite it being quite obvious there's something wrong. And we see that similarity between Xion and Faye. Now, in a weird way, what was it? So there is a point where Shitan calls Faye something. That is technically incorrect because of how the game works. But technically, this could fall into schizotypal personality disorder. And schizotypal personality disorder is not schizophrenia, but it has. But the reason it's the naming convention that has those qualities. So usually you'll see like being a loner being involved with that, other than relationships outside immediate family or really close people that they absolutely trust. They might have flat emotions or have emotional responses that are limited or not even socially proper. So we see that with Shion when she interacts with others. It's completely professional. She doesn't really let herself be completely vulnerable with others, yet we see it with reality. So we know she's a little bit of she's a different case, maybe only slightly having it, or maybe not at all, but with Faye, it becomes a little bit more of a real thing when we see his avoidance to all these situations. He has too much social anxiety, a very big thing with with schizotypal personality disorder that kind of plays here and there. It's not always present. He incorrectly interprets events. What was it? So he might, and like how he views himself, how he views others, etc. He might, or even what he recalls, etc. Like the way Shitan views that, he might, he calls that, like he might see this kind of thing, right? He's the one that's most observant of Faye and how he acts. They have suspicious or paranoid thoughts or constant doubt about loyalty of others. If you remember, now I'm not saying that this completely falls in. Faye's values are that like, he's like, oh, aren't your friends gonna find us? Like, wouldn't they try to find you? And Bart's like, nah, no, of course not. That's not how we are. But he, in that sense, maybe he was also wondering about their loyalty to Bart, as well as his suspicious and paranoid thoughts about himself is a very real thing for himself, right? I'm trying to think of what else falls into that schizotypal. Now, one thing he doesn't have, and once again, you only need to have 5 of the symptoms, and we've already listed around 5. But speaking in an odd way is another one that could be one like pattern with a schizotypal: rambling or vague or unusual patterns of speaking, dressing or appearing in an odd way. Faye is fine. He is he is dressed. So you don't need to have all of these, right? But if you have 5 of these, you could possibly have schizotypal personality disorder. The stronger ones tend to be a belief in special powers, or like, for example, there was a case study that I had done where it was like, not high school, it was a college student. They stay at home like a lot, but they actually communicate with friends online. They have a belief in that they can use tarot cards to to like basically I think, they were afraid of being hurt, and they can predict what days they could possibly be hurt on or something, but they became more socially isolated from the world for fear of being hurt. So, like, and that is a very extreme version of schizotypal personality behavior, or disorder. Um, so he doesn't display those signs, the more extreme ones, but he does display the more vague ones. And this is something that will come up later, and it's a correction I want to make on Shitan, who labels him a certain way. And I'm like, nah, 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 unless we're only talking about the negative part. So there's, maybe I might, no, it's so far away, I might as well discuss it. So with schizophrenia, there's additive or positive. I don't think they called it positive, but there's additive symptoms and there's negative symptoms. Symptoms that take away, symptoms that add. The additive symptoms are the ones that you typically hear about in popular media, etc. Hearing voices, audio visual disturbances, or even seeing people that are telling you to do things. If you've seen Brilliant Mind, that is it's about a real person that had this. In fact, he actually died some years ago. Wait, no, not some years ago, but wait. Let me see when 2015. He died only 9 years ago. Nash, John Forbes Nash, who was an incredible genius. But he suffered schizophrenia. It was a very difficult thing in his life, yet he was the driving force for treatment for better treatment or better psychological treatment. Now, with the additives, he had all the symptoms, the additive symptoms and the negative symptoms. The additive symptoms being, like I said, audiovisual disturbances, hearing things that you shouldn't be hearing, seeing things that do not exist, and then the negative symptoms are the ones that are more socially related. So avoidance of people, avoiding social situations. We can see him isolate himself. If you watch the movie, it's kind of like detailing certain parts of his life. You see him where he's talking with people, and then he starts to avoid them more and more and more. He's in his room all on his own. He had the negative symptoms first before the additive symptoms came in. And some of the other negative symptoms tend to be the ones that you display. So the strange manner of speech, the rambling, the odd walking pattern, etc. So that's why I'm like, this is not the case with Faye. He does not have the more specific negative or even additive symptoms. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. Maybe it was positive symptoms, but I could have sworn it was additive because it adds to it. Like, regardless, the thing is, he doesn't have the audiovisual hallucinations. They're not hallucinations. And then he doesn't have the only thing he has is the social isolation, but that's why I'm like, this is schizotypal personality disorder, not schizophrenia. So just something to make a correction about, because we're going to take hours to actually get there. All right, I'm going to pause the recording there, though, and we will be back in a bit when story things come up. When more story things come up, I should say. Not like there wasn't any before. So, just talking to the NPCs. There's some silly NPCs here and there, but I figured, I don't need to show them. But, yes and no, but there's, NPCs that break the fourth wall. They're kind of hilarious. But while under the sand, there is nothing but static. As a matter of fact, there is nothing to do either. It's a lot harder to control the ship after the young master steered it. He's so reckless. I had a competition going on with the young master the other day to see who could tip the boat further. Old Myson literally was white as a sheet, saying all the teacups were destroyed. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize that you were there. Want to hear some hot sounds that I have recorded? So, this guy plays just random sound effects. Want to hear some more? That was hard to hear. But yeah, he just plays little random sound effects that are in the game. Well, that's too bad. Um, this ship's mass is low, so it'd help if we could get a gear to observe the shell's impacts. And when the catapults are open, you can't use the main cannon, so... so many problems. This ship uses innumerable effect wings to pulverize sand and wade through it. If our balance is lost, we roll over in the desert, and it's all up to our skill. Oh, or not but you know. We're almost at the hideout. We'll probably stop there for a while for supplies and repairs. I realize I should have talked to Bart, but, you know, we'll be okay. We'll live. So, they go from that little, hole there to the, what is it? To their hideout, as they say. Oh, you need to go, Elowen? Alright. I'll be stopping soon anyway, because I have to sleep very soon myself. And we're actually getting to a good enough stopping point now that I think about it. The hideout itself. I was just hoping I'd see another save soon. So once I hit that save, I am pausing that and I'm uploading the recorded version, which is going to be an hour less. This theme is so good. I'll turn up the music just for this. Da 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 na 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 da 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 na na. So like upbeat and uplifting. Welcome back, Bart. Good to see you back. Welcome back. Bart, what did you bring us? Well, I've got a new model gear and 2 people that we helped out. A gear? How boring. Don't you have anything more interesting? I thought you'd say that. Look! This is amber that I found in the stalactite cavern in the desert. It's rare to find one with a bug in it. Aw. Wow, thanks, Bart! We got some amber. What's that? Let's go. We gotta show it off to everyone. Aw. Well then, I'm gonna tune up my gear a little. Why don't you 2 have some tea with old Myson? Thanks, old Myson. Please, walk this way. So, like I said, moment we get to a save, we are ending the stream there, because I need to sleep earlier, and... I mean, if I could somehow sleep before I hear another damn firework, I might be able to sleep through them if I'm lucky. This happened a few times, but sometimes I'm not so lucky. Partly because my dog gets shocked awake. This is the residential section. Walk this way. So, let's see. I can't recall if the save... I know there was a save somewhere. There it is. So, I hope you guys enjoyed what we talked about so far. I know about, like... Was it? You got to see a boss battle. Because, like, this is still somewhat of a playthrough, recording-wise. So, I will show off, like, the bosses and some other little moments. But we're not going to be showing, like, all the in-between stuff that's like, you know, more of the important dialogues. There might be 1 or 2 I might have missed, but they're really not that big. You could easily miss it and be the better for it. Main things is like, it was just like things that will bite you in the butt later, but it's okay. But the what we're gonna see with Faye here as we go forward is going to be interesting. Like I said, we discussed with schizotypal behavior. Remember that into the second episode. Feel free to do a little research as well on schizotypal behavior disorder, and kind of have a little bit of an understanding for it, because you'll see, like I said, very slight elements of that on Faye. Sure, like there's what's going to happen story-wise would otherwise, like, you might just say, oh well, there's plenty of tension, but like I said, there's a lot more to Faye than meets the eye, and he is a man suffering from depression, trauma, PTSD. He has a fear of himself now and everything. He doesn't want to kill anyone. He's also not really feeling so good about himself or his purpose in the world. So, all things to keep in mind. Feel free to research on schizophrenia as well. As I said, that there's a point where Shitan says schizophrenia. It's like, no, that's incorrect. Feel free to do research on what was it? Do research on depression and social anxiety, and how those two kind of play together, especially when confronted with situations where you're being asked to do something. That is especially a big thing to pay attention to with depression. If you have any friends that suffer from depression, please don't play doctor. Please just be a good support in their life. Be there for them where you can. And they will remember that you are there for them, but the main thing is they need help. They need to go to a psychologist, or they could there are helpful facilities that help with depression. They provide food, all that stuff, and they let you have access to what is it called? Therapy sessions and everything you might need, as well as being able to properly observe the effects of SSRIs, SNRIs, etc. Tricyclates even. But yeah, don't play doctor. Please don't. Do not play psychologist unless you are a psychologist. Or at least have been trained in some degree of understanding, like, what to do in those situations. And finally and lastly, definitely, as I say, check out the analysis from Resonant Arc. I keep it in the description. It literally blew my mind how much I did not know about Xenogears. Play Xenogears. Play Xenogears just completely as is. No research, and watch what it does to you. You're going to be wanting to research. Especially when you want answers. So, But, hope you all have a good night. You have a good day. And we will be continuing Xenogears when we get down to it again. Of course, with a stream and whatnot.